Hello, welcome. Welcome to Elemental Growth. I'm Ashley. Okay, so welcome to High Tea, you guys. I've got a really cool one here today. It's not the regular tea, which would actually go well, you would think, with the weather right now. It's starting to snow again. It's been really cold the last few days. So nice warm tea, I guess, would have been suitable. But what my belly actually wanted, what I was actually feeling, was this wonderful drink called kombucha. This is a fermented tea. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's nice and bubbly there, nicely fermented, and it's made with ginger. And both kombucha and ginger are such potent superfoods that they actually prevent and can kill off cancer cells. Really cool. I'm going to go into some more details of these actually. Um, so I got them here. Kombucha, really good probiotic. So in the stores, you'd pay for probiotics like 50, $60 for a bottle. And here's another thing about probiotics that you have to be cautious of is that if you're buying the same probiotics, the same brands, you're not creating a diversity in your gut. You're likely instead using, mass produced probiotics at such a consistent rate that you'd actually cause damage. So it's really good if you want to buy the probiotics that you're diversifying them. So you're getting different probiotics and different brands also because we want a diversity in our gut. This is a really good probiotic because it's like a wild yeast. We also do sourdough and make ginger bug with the kids. These fermented foods and the probiotics are really important to us. And you can do it the supplement way, or you can create your own supplements through nutrition, which is the way that we personally choose to do it. So kombucha is always like a go-to option. The kids actually call it burping potion because it's bubbly, because they don't have a lot of bubbly things. That's what they do. It's the burping potion because it makes you burp. Um, Another good thing that kombucha is good for, and this is an ancient power here, is just boosting immunity. This is why the Truth About Cancer documentary film mentioned kombucha specifically in here is boosting its immunity, but this is used, for all things. It can be used for autoimmune. It can be used for even these issues that, where there's now public health interventions. It can help you with the cold and the flu. It can help prevent these things. It can help you build up your immune system after getting a public health intervention. And it's really this ancient power, this natural immunity, right? Really important. It also improves digestion, which can affect, again, your gut microbiome. It also with your poop, which is something that we dive into like very much so when we're doing health histories and things like that. What your stool looks like and how often you're going to the bathroom. Even your urine. What's your urine look like? This is really important to know what you're absorbing into your system, how often you're allowing your body to release. And another thing about improving digestion is that it's really ripples out into the skin. Just as skin health affects the gut health affects the skin health. So it's really a symbiotic representation of each other. It's also very representative of our soil too. How we treat our soil is essentially how we're treating ourselves. So another ripple effect, fractal as you will. Kombucha also helps with organ protection, lowers blood pressure, is an antimicrobial, an antibacterial, and an antifungal. So all really good stuff here, and it tastes delicious. You can make your own. When we make our own, we do it with green tea. You can flavor it as you will. This one is, and I need to add to, you guys can go see my short video to see how easy it is to make this stuff. It does take a waiting process, and you do need to go out and buy a bottle of kombucha or find somebody who makes their own kombucha to get the SCOBY, which is a symbiotic uh, symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. SCOBY, SCOBY. So you're going to need to get a SCOBY, or you're going to need a portion of a drink, like maybe a quarter cup of an other kombucha. So go out to the store and get it, try it. If you like it and it's working for you, then go ahead and make your own. Save a quarter cup, do it up. It's so worth it. This stuff is so good, and it can get expensive if you're buying it every day, though I understand, if that's the way you're doing things, that it's working for you. Just what matters most is that you're getting it into you, because this is a great natural alternative to a lot of things on the market today. And so this one is flavored with ginger, and some benefits of ginger, which I absolutely just love. I started loving ginger with like the pickled ginger that you get with sushi. So good. I love that stuff. I don't know how healthy it is on a sushi plate when it's pickled, but I love this stuff. So a fermented drink of ginger, I'm good. I cook with ginger all the time. I add it to my rice. I add it to many different stir fries. I have it in tea alone, in hot water alone. Um, I do blends with it. There's a lot of benefits to this stuff. I've even previously, for other clients, made honey tinctures and honey infusions using ginger too, just so it's easier to get into your system. So ginger will prevent cancer, it regulates blood sugar levels, it enhances your sexual activity, it facilitates digestion and cures diarrhea. It helps with nausea, it helps with stomach relief, it helps relieve menstrual cramps. It provides relief from many stomach issues. It boosts your bone health and relieves joint health. It can also reduce like gas from your body too, if you're holding on and getting those kind of cramps, or you're feeling it like in your chest, or you're feeling nauseous. It can relieve all of that. Like really good medicine we're talking about here. And you can grow ginger too, just like how you can make the SCOBY, the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, just like you can make kombucha. You can grow your own ginger. Once you buy it once, you wait for it to start getting, I wish I had an example because we have them growing downstairs actually. But there becomes like a little nub that looks like it's coming alive. It is life. So you cut around that nub and you suspend it in water using toothpicks, and it'll start to root. And once there's a lot of roots, once the green starts shooting, you can put that in soil and it'll grow some more. And it's food that just keeps on giving. With Monsanto and GMO, they're really trying to stop this stuff. They're trying to stop us from having this knowledge that we can buy once and continue to harvest from this, just buying something once. Instead they have us going to the grocery store every single week buying the same stuff. And this is the plan. What we want to do is be sustainable. We want to get outside of that plan. We want to be conscious with our time, cautious with our money, cautious with what it is that we're consuming. So, for example, there's this thing called orthorexia. It means that it's what happens to healthy people when they know a lot about nutrition and things like that, and they'll only eat things from health. I went through that. I went through orthorexia. My version, what it looked like for me, was when I was getting sober, I started looking into food and diet, and I became obsessed. I've been a candidate for OCD since I was a child, and I became obsessed. I traded one habit for another. I traded alcohol for food, information, and knowledge, and I wanted it from direct experience, just like I wanted the experience from drinking from direct experience, and the party life and living it big and party hard. I wanted all that experience for myself. I wanted the same when it came to nutrition. It didn't matter what I read. I wanted to go in and put it into action. So that meant I went to every single grocery store. that I could think of that was in my town. I went to the bulk food places. I went to the natural food places. I ordered off of online. And what I would do is start growing these things. So if I would buy a sweet potato or a piece of ginger or anything like that, I would suspend it in water and I would start growing it. And if it would grow, I knew I could go to that grocery store and trust that food if for any reason I needed to rebuy it. And if not, I can continue growing. That really, truly mattered to me. It also mattered to me that if I was buying fruit, that I could sprout and germinate those seeds and that they could grow. And if they wouldn't grow, I knew stay away from those fruits and vegetables. They're GMO. They're not good for you. They're dead food. They're not going to give me any life force energy. Goodbye. Bye. Bye bye. And then I would also do this with seeds and grains and nuts and beans. I would uh, do my best to like soak them, because if you soak and they start to sprout, that just means leaving them in water for like maybe 4 hours, 6 hours, 24 hours, something like that. You do this with beans, nuts, seeds, grains, whatever. And if it starts to sprout, you're actually getting 10 times the life force energy, 10 times the nutrients as you would with it being a dormant food. And so I would do this to get more life force energy. This was a healthy addiction, a healthy obsession so far as I'm concerned. It was definitely a different kind of addiction and a different kind of experience. I live by more of a 90-10 diet now. Not all of my food is that way. And I'm still healthy. So, I found a better balance where I could be healthier in myself instead of everything being a challenge, where I could actually, be with my friends and family and be myself and be firm in my boundaries without being off the hinges crazy. So I did find that balance for myself, and that experience taught me so much. And I want to share that with you guys so that you can see, like, if you want to be more sustainable in your life, this is where you start. I encourage you, don't be as obsessive as I was, but take this knowledge from this experience and use it, experiment for yourself and see what's growing in your area. What foods can you trust? If you want to keep going back to the grocery store and getting the same thing, sure. If you got land where you can go plant some stuff and never have to buy it again, and you can harvest the seeds from those crops and start sharing with your neighbors, this is how we're going to create Eden. This is how we are the change that we want to see in the world. This is how we become more free. This is how we lift up the collective. This is how we make big changes. This is how we turn the ripple effect into a wave. So let's tap into a little meditation here. I'm going to take another drink and then we'll get into the heart of the matter today, because there's today is daylight savings time, so I wanted to get into some of that kind of stuff. And as promised, I was going to get into some other ways that you can self-regulate for focus, for sleep, get it in sync with that circadian rhythm, make the most out of your days in this time. So, yeah. It's just really so good, you guys. So get comfortable. Let's back up so I remember to share the details with you. All right. Close your eyes. Deep breath in. Try your best to bring in through your nose. Adjust your posture. Visualize bringing in new life force energy as we were discussing. And then as you exhale through your mouth. Let everything out. Empty out that gut. Empty out everything. Just allow yourself to let go. Fully let go. Fully release. You can have that rebirth. Every breath, a rebirth. Renewing cells. Releasing what doesn't serve you. We'll do this a few more times. Roll out your neck. Spend a lot of time at the computer. It's a really good one. A lot of time driving, sitting, being stagnant. It's good to roll your shoulders, roll your neck. Taking deep conscious breaths like this too will also stimulate new cell growth inside of your body. It enhances every cell with this life force energy, with light, with intention, with the oxygen that it needs. It creates a hormonal shift within the body, creates chemicals that can bring you more happiness into your life, that can bring you more peace, relieve any of that stress, relieve any, of this other symptoms like procrastination and resistance. It just lets it all go so you can focus better, so you can go to sleep better, so you can live your day better, so you can wake up better. All right. Now that you're all relaxed, let's dive in. I like doing these little exercises because they do help you focus. If you can take deep breath and set an intention before going into something, like reading or a video chat like this, you're going to retain more energy. It's going to make it worth your time as well as mine. It's just better all the way around. And if you're in this space as a professional, it's great to bring that too, right? Because if you're doing this for others and you want them to understand more and connect more, then setting these kind of intentions ahead of time are going to be really super helpful. I apologize if my view goes off. I'm not really looking at the camera right now, so I hope you can still see me. I'm gonna, this folder or this file that I've created here. It's titled How to Self-Regulate for Focus and Sleep. This is the Elemental Growth Guide to the Circadian Rhythm. And I'm going to copy this and make it accessible to you guys. Our website is currently down for construction right now. We had some technical difficulties, some big stuff go on before the last trip where the website actually crashed. It was down, like completely taken off, and they're doing their best to restore it and bring it back to the way it was now. However, there is the likely chance that I'm going to have to sit with it for a while in my own time and recreate this thing. If so, I see it as an opportunity, as a rebirthing opportunity to bring in some of the new stuff that Elemental Growth is doing and again release some of the old. So maybe this happened at the right time for the right reasons. On the other side, it's like I know that there's so much stuff going on and the weather's getting warmer. And, so if they are able to restore it, I would be really grateful to that too, because there's, some other areas that I'd rather spend my time than sitting at a screen plugging away. But regardless, I'm unattached. I don't care really what the outcome is. I will make the most out of it either way. I'm pretty good at being that person that says good to things and sees things as an opportunity. So whatever it brings, I do believe it would be for a reason, that even this crash was for a reason, because I was able to just open myself up to visualizing new ideas. What would it be like if I did recreate a new website and these kinds of things? And this led to today, right? So I've been writing articles for Sociadelic for 3 years. I wrote them for myself and my other businesses previous, and even through nutrition school, um, to share with the collective and understand better for myself what it was that I wanted to be doing and wanted to be teaching. And then that led me back to psychedelics, full circle. So then I wrote for Sociadelic for 3 years. And, now a lot of the questions I get asked in the integration space are things that I've written about, like a while ago. So what I'm doing is actually repurposing a lot of old content now, and I'm going to make it into beautiful little PDFs that you guys can download. So as you come on to these Sacred Sunday events with us, you can actually download what we talk about and have that for your reference in the future, as well as in the website. We're going to be adding in some new stuff around, Cambo and gardening, permaculture stuff that we're doing, and all the new stuff that's coming. Also the rebirth book just came out, so we had to add that anyway. There was work we had to do on this thing. All right, so let's talk about this. How to self-regulate for focused sleep. This is the Elemental Growth Guide to the Circadian Rhythm, and it will be available to you guys on the new website when it's available. Until then, you'll get it from Signal, likely. I'll just post it in there so you guys can download it. So right now, this very day, March 13th, this is 2 months before Finn's birthday on May 13th. And in Ontario, the sunrise is rising in the east. It always rises in the east, sets in the west. And it's rising at 7:33 a.m. And our sunset will be at 7:21 p.m. Our next vernal equinox, so the spring equinox, this is just around the corner too. That's May 20th, and it happens at 11:33 a.m. So that's really cool. We get the equinox in the morning, especially for spring equinox. You guys can get outside and enjoy the entire day however you want. We're doing some planning and prepping. I'm not 100% sure what the plan is yet, but I'm getting excited. We felt the warmth. I started hearing the robins. I could smell the maple syrup. And then we got all this cold frost. It's going to be great for maple syrup, but it's going to be, but we got to feel the cold again, And here's the thing. A part of this rebirth with the breath is like that letting go over and over and over again, right? That's what the snow is doing and what it's representing for us is it comes, it melts away, it cleans everything, right? And then more snow comes. It hardens to things. And then when it melts, it can wash away again. So this is part of the cleaning, cleansing process we're going through as the rebirth is coming up. And it's part of this cycle of freeze and thaw that actually brings the birth to the strawberries, which you guys love, and we have the strawberry moon coming up soon. It's one of the first full moons of the in the spring is the strawberry full moon. So, really good things are coming, and there's a purpose for all of it. So it's actually almost our human duty to encompass these traditional ways of being and these traditional ways of seeing the world and being in alignment with Mama Nature. So really excited for that. Also, today being the 13th, this is daylight savings. I linked a resource here because I found it really interesting why it is that we even have daylight savings. So Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the U.S., he was also a noted polymath. A polymath, for anybody who doesn't know, is somebody who can learn from anything. So if they're reading Clifford, their big red dog, they're learning with that mindset where they're actually retaining the information, they're gaining something, there's something in them there for them to learn, like a child, just as if they were going to learn physics, and they're usually very smart people. So polymath is a really awesome thing to be. It's an affirmation that I've definitely encompassed in my own life and something that I've meditated on, and I've worked with this word in different ways. I definitely not Benjamin Franklin, but being a polymath was something that I really found relatable. So when I read that he was a noted polymath, I just had to add that in there. That little tidbit. It means you can learn from anything, any experience. And I feel like that's something that we do when we're working with these psychedelic medicines too, is we're tapping into that ancient knowledge where we can learn from anything, where we can approach things from a place of curiosity instead of, what we're told to believe. So the reason why we have these cycles is the daylight savings time is because of Benjamin Franklin. He came up with this idea of resetting the clocks during the summer in order to save energy. The practice became widespread on March 21st, 1916, as a way to reduce the number of hours homes needed to use lighting and electricity. And yet we still use this today. Pretty crazy. I'm not 100% sure why it's in effect in these areas, like specifically North America. It actually became federal law in the US in 1966, and a lot of the states actually opted out of it. There's also entire countries that opted out of this too. So there's only some places do it, some places don't. It's weird that it became a federal law. I wonder if that has anything to do with, some of the other things that are going on in the health industry and with the food industry. Like, I do wonder if it's like coincide there, because as you're going to see as we move into, and I mean, I don't know, was Franklin Benjamin a good guy, bad guy? Like, I don't know. Is the government good or bad? These days, these days it answers for itself. I think it's interesting that some states did do it and some states didn't, that some places in the world do and some don't. I wouldn't say it's particularly my rabbit hole, but if you guys want to dig further into that and you uncover something, definitely get in touch with me, let me know. I'd love to see whatever you come up with. When it comes to this specifically, like just our circadian clock and stuff, you'll see for yourself just why I found it important to note it, mainly just because, a lot of the workout that I do in the nutrition space, there is a big food conspiracy going on here when it comes to these mental health interventions that are being thrust upon individuals. It's like, it just makes me wonder. All right, so regardless, spring is on its way. And this is the time to spring forward, to experience rebirth for yourself. I've got some other really fun Sundays planned where we'll go into into fasting and rebirth in general, how to do that for yourself when we talk about spring. I think the spring equinox next week even, so that's really cool. We'll do that next Sunday, World Frog Day. Today we are receiving 11 hours, 18 minutes of daylight. So we're getting there. 14 hours, 16 hours in the summer. That's about what we'll get. 11 hours. I'm pretty good with that. I feel like I could do a lot of stuff in 11 hours and 48 minutes. So, that's essentially where I'm setting my wake up time, my bedtime, around those hours, likely an hour or two before the sunrise, because I do like to be up early. And then again, I'm always in bed before 10 p.m., except for around the full moon, where I do stay up a little bit later. I feel it's just a natural thing. A lot of people think it's an insomnia thing, and then we track it back to the moon cycles, and it's like, oh yeah, that wasn't insomnia, that's actually the moon. And it was one thing that really helped me with my sleep cycle too. I spent decades in the hospitality and tourism industry. 10 years I did, that was a full decade. 10 years I went hardcore, work hard, play hard, up late. I would still wake up super early, but then I would nap during the day and I would be up all night. And, it took a while for me to arrange that. This is how I did it. I learned this knowledge, this ancient stuff. I learned, when does the sun rise? When does the sun set? How can I build my schedule around that? I was getting in nature. I'll share some more of these details with you as we move into here. But right now, we are guaranteed to be receiving 11 hours, 48 minutes of daylight. Outside, things are melting, other things are, cleansing, and there's this creating of a just brand new environment for us, around us, with us right now. It's really cool to observe. What else we got here? Okay, so sunrise is at 7:33 a.m. and sunset is at 7:21 p.m. So almost a full 12 hours. And you want to make the most out of this to make the most out of your life, so you can really tap into that law of attraction, the being productive. whatever your goals are, right? This is part of the focus, is setting that intention. So whatever it is that you want, how are you scheduling that into this 12 hours every single day? And preferably doing it in the sunlight where you're tapping into that primordial energy. Okay, so this is the basic information that you need to know to harness your energy in these ways that our primitive ancestors did. You know, they had infinite amounts of pure, wild, and connected energy, like way more energy than us. You know, and they were eating less food. They were less reliant. They didn't have tech. They didn't have cars. They just had energy, you know, and what anybody sick wouldn't give for some extra energy, right? And it's those things, the reliance on those things, are actually making people sick. You know, driving instead of walking. You know, I walked my whole life. I didn't even get a car until I was 13, or until I was 30. You know, that's what I got myself for my 30th birthday, was my G license and an SUV. I wanted to do van life. I almost actually traded my car, or it's a compact SUV. I almost traded in my vehicle for a van just recently. I even went to the place, and something told me, don't do it, Ashley, just keep it for now. And then gas prices went up. And I was like, thank God I got like the best vehicle for fuel. And I drive a lot of places today, but they're road trips. And when I'm parked, I park and I walk and I get active still. And in my routine, I build in all these ways that I can be physically active. And again, tap into that life force energy. So I'm not relying on those systems, and instead can be reliant on my own primitive energy that comes from the sunlight, that comes from nature, that comes from breath work. All right, so the circadian rhythm are physical, mental behaviors and changes that allow for a 24-hour cycle. These natural processes respond primarily to light and dark and affect most living things, including animals, plants, and microbes. We're all microbes. That's what we are, right? So chronobiology is the study of circadian rhythms. One example of light-related circadian rhythm is sleeping at night and being awake during the day. So I go into some more of this stuff around the master clock here. I'm just going to skip past that because, again, these resources are going to be available to you, and I want to be respectful of our time here. What else have we got? Do you know what? Maybe I will dive in because I think it is important stuff. So let's talk about it here. All right. We have a master clock in our brain that coordinates all the biological clocks in all living things, keeping the clocks in sync. In vertebrate animals, including humans, the master clock is a group of about 20,000 nerve cells, neurons, that form a structure called the Suprasiomatic Nucleus. Let's try that again. Let's even see if I can get an enunciation thing so I can even know that I'm doing it right. Let's see what we got here. Pronouns. Let's see.
Suprachiasmatic.
Suprasiomatic.
Suprachiasmatic.
Beautiful, thank you. Suprasiomatic. So this is called the Suprasiomatic Nucleus, or our SCN. The SCN is in a part of our brain called the hypothalamus and receives direct input from the eyes. Natural factors in our body produce circadian rhythms. For humans, some of the most important genes in this process are the period of cryptochrome genes. These genes code for proteins that build up in the cell's nucleus at night and lessen during the day. Studies in fruit flies suggest that these proteins help activate feelings of wakefulness, alertness, and sleepiness. However, signals from the environment also affect circadian rhythms. For instance, exposure to light at a different time of day can reset when body on turns on period and cryptochrome genes. Circadian rhythms can influence important functions in our body, such as hormone release, eating habits, digestion, and body temperature. However, most people notice the effects of circadian rhythm in their sleep patterns. So, two things that I want to tap into around this is that there's a big thing here saying that that the brain, the hypothalamus, receives direct input from the eyes through natural light, right? So wearing sunglasses is not helping the circadian rhythm. Somehow, like, I don't know what to believe because I'm not the eye doctor to say about sunlight in your eyes, but I know that our primitive ancestors did not have sunglasses. So to say we need sunglasses to protect our eyes because of solar radiation or whatever the excuses are for these things, I think part of the light sensitivity is actually coming from the tech itself. I believe more that would be the problem than the sun itself. Wearing blue blocker glasses, I could see a benefit, whereas, wearing sunglasses all the time, putting them on before you even get outside, this could be affecting your circadian rhythm. This could likely be affecting your brain function, your energy levels, your hormone health. So I do tap into the sunglasses thing again later, but that was something I wanted to bring up here just while we tap into it so you have some background. Another one was, most people notice the effects of the circadian rhythm with their sleep cycle. So they don't notice it exactly with fatigue during the day, though some people do. Of course, that is one of the side effects as discussed here, and even body temperature and like all these and hormonal disruptions. So there's a lot of reasons why during the day we could see that it's a circadian rhythm problem. Likely you'd be diagnosed as something totally different, unless, of course, this was around sleep. We naturally know that there's something wrong with our circadian rhythm if we're not sleeping properly at night. And so there's something that I always share with my clients, and that is that you need to get in the horizontal position, lights out by 10 o'clock. If you're up past 10 o'clock, you can be awake, read with a candle, be at the fire, have firelight. That is fine. Staying up that late in a vertical position can still put off your circadian rhythm, but at least the light wouldn't. If you're sitting there on your phone or watching a movie or typing away at your computer past 10 o'clock, your circadian rhythm is going to be out of whack. Until that is taken care of, most of the time I can't even help anybody. Like, you have to take care of that first, that habit, get out of it. Really important. If you want to sleep, knock that off. Do your best to be in the horizontal position by 10 p.m. Unless, of course, it's a full moon. Then light a fire. Be up late. Whatever. It's fine to do that, like 3 days out of the month. Do it. But, most of the time, I think it's really important be in that horizontal position, because otherwise you're going to get a second wind. It's natural. It's inevitable. This is from our ancestors. This is programmed into our DNA. If we were up past 10 p.m., it's because we were in danger, because we had to be awake. So your body creates all of these other hormones, and then that creates a hormonal disturbance. And then your next day is affected by the day before. And then that has a ripple effect that negatively impacts all areas of your life. Can create chronic disease in a person. So really, really important, you guys have that, know what the master clock is and how it is you can use it to your benefit. Changes in our body environmental factors can cause our circadian rhythms and the natural light-dark cycle to be out of sync. Some examples of this include mutation changes in our genes that can affect our biological clocks, jet lag, or like a shift in shifts that you're doing at work. These changes of light to dark, they can affect it. Light from electronic devices, as I mentioned before, this, especially at night, can really confuse our biological clocks. That even means the light, like the blue light that comes off of our computer when it's charging, turn that light dot away from you. If you have your TV as one of those ones, unplug it just so you don't have that blue light. I don't know why that's even legal because it causes health issues. Those manufacturers should not be having those things. And there are people out there who know that these cause issues. So why didn't we change that a long time ago? Like, they update tech all the time. Why not update it with things that benefit us? Right. So yeah, these changes can cause sleep disorders and lead to other chronic health conditions such as obesity, diabetes, depression, bipolar disorder, and seasonal affective disorder. That's a big reason why I'm bringing this information out to you guys too, is, I know we're mainly through winter now, but seasonal depression disorder, it affects a lot of people, especially here in Canada and the northern climates. Evolution has instilled in us a powerful internal clock program to anticipate the psychological events based on battery of entertainment cues, including light, temperature, food, physical activity. Unfortunately, the infrastructure of today's society and our lifestyle choices have thrown a wrench in our biological clockwork. Restoring the circadian rhythm looks like 20 to 30 minutes of walking outside after the sunrise or upon waking. So in Aubrey Marcus's Own the Day book, he also mentioned just getting outside and doing like a 10-minute HIIT workout will do the same thing. Especially if you can do it with, naked if you want to. The more skin exposed, the better you're going to absorb that vitamin D. And if you have a private backyard, that could be a really nice asset, Yeah, but otherwise, take the dog for a 20, 30-minute walk. Take your kid for a 20, 30-minute walk. Another thing is minimize your glasses and contact lenses if possible. If you're wearing glasses and contact lenses, which again, did not happen for our ancestors. They did not do these things. They were using plant medicine like Sananga to help their eyesight. And yeah, so do take them off. I know a lot of people that rely on glasses a lot in their life. That's okay if you've had it for your entire life. It's okay. You don't need to be scared. But if you can get outside and just practice what it's like to even not see. Even if you keep your eyes closed, if it makes you feel more comfortable than seeing blurriness. Maybe you enjoy it, seeing things in such a unique way. Maybe you can embrace that just a little bit more for, 20, 30 minutes in a day. Also, contact lenses, take them out just for a little while. Allow your body to absorb in the vitamin D, absorb in this natural energy that we have access to. It drives me nuts, take the sun away from us, take the water away from us. Like, it broke my heart when, who was it? Stephen Harper sold the Great Lakes to Nestle, and the CEO of Nestle stood up and said, human beings don't have the right to free water. And it's like, why are you taking Canadian fresh water as like a corporation? What gives you the right to that? It takes 3 times the water to make one of your shitty plastic bottles than it does to fill it. It's a disgrace. And something that's not talked about is that the sun is being taken away from us too. But it's only taken away because of cultural conditioning. You have a choice. Take responsibility. Get outside. Get away from the glasses. Get away from the sunglasses as much as possible. Open windows. Allow in the natural light as much as possible. Use like in my houses, I don't ever put curtains up. I oftentimes take screens out of windows too, even apartments that I stay in. Oftentimes it's some of the first things that go, and I don't invest in the linens to cover windows at all. I keep all that stuff open. I oftentimes will have a window open even the winter time. Um, just to help regulate and help stay aligned to nature and what's going on in the environment. Yeah, it's cool that we get to create our own environment. Um, but, you have to have that balance of connectiveness to the environment that's natural for us too. There still needs to be that alignment where we get sick. So these are some things that we can be doing. Another one is uh, using those apps on your electronics at night so that it changes the screen color so you're not as overly stimulated to use it as much, but also so that it doesn't affect your eyes and your sleep patterns. Using blue blocking glasses after sunset is also encouraged. Using orange red light bulbs in the evening could work too. We just do candlelight. We usually play games with the kids to help them see in the dark and be brave in the dark, and games like hide and go seek in the dark, and you got to start using those superpowers to be able to see. Senega is a great eye medicine, but you can do this without any medicine too. If you close your eyes when you're in the dark, it goes to a different shade of dark, and then when you open your eyes and you're in the dark, you can actually see further. I went to Columbia to learn that. You guys just have to sit on a computer. So, there's a lot of really cool things to do, and I love teaching this stuff with the kids. I love playing those games. It's candlelight and firelight. Um, Intermittent fasting can also help. A simple fast of 12 hours can help. A cyclical fast of 16 hours can help 3 times a week. A warrior fast, which is 16 hours a day, that can help. A full day fast of 24 hours once a week can help. Even if you want to do the full moon fast, that's once a month, you just fast for 24 hours. If you're a yogi, that might be something you're already familiar with. It's a bit of a tradition in some of those areas. So, breath work, pranayama, this is another way to help the circadian rhythm. You can also do third eye sun work, and that's what I was saying. You have your glasses off, your contacts out. You can close your eyes. When you close these two eyes, guess what happens? You open this one, this third eye. You open it right up, and it starts to see. And so if you close these two eyes and you open this one, and you just allow the sunlight to hit that, you're doing good. That's some really good third eye work. It's a really powerful meditation too. Forest bathing, walking barefoot, earthing, eating mushrooms to get more natural vitamin D. Even better is dehydrating foods in the sun to absorb vitamin D. If you actually take mushrooms, which are high in vitamin D, and you dehydrate them in the sunlight, you get 10 times that vitamin D. This is like going back to talking about sprouting and growing that food. This is really powerful life stuff. This can change everything. It does. It changes a person for the better. This is how you hit that highest potential. This is how you integrate that information that you're getting from the psychedelic plants and medicine and fungi. This is how you do it. Get yourself healthy, get your body in its best, most optimal shape. Do it naturally, using nature to nurture the process of change. So I got 10 more minutes here. I'm going to do the best I can to move through here. There's 2 more major topics I wanted to talk about, so maybe we can do 5 minutes of each, and then I'll have enough time to get off here and do. I'm watching there's crows and squirrels. It's like really that ADD moment. Look at the window. Oh, it's a squirrel. But they're like jumping and hopping. They're doing some crazy stuff out there in the trees. And it keeps catching me. All right, so the other 2 things is first the sun salutation, or sun salutation here. So it's a series of postures. Again, if you're a yogi, you're already familiar with this. It's pretty basic. It's one of the most common things that we do. It strengthens and aligns your entire body. It serves as an all-purpose yoga tool. So, I mean, if you only have a few minutes to do yoga, this is one of those really nice flow moves that you can do. This is one of those things you can do outside in the morning to get that sunlight in that first 10 minutes. And so I did share a resource of you guys seeing a video of how this is done. I do encourage you to go look it up. The sun salutation is one of the most powerful yoga practices. It's a set of 12 yoga poses. Essentially, you're starting up, you're moving your way down to the ground, you're putting yourself up into cobra, into downward dog, and then you're lifting yourself back up into mountain. It's a beautiful process. It feels really good. It aligns your entire body. It's really good for that solar plexus chakra. It's really good for flow, for intuition, for gut health, for hormone health. It's really good for happiness. It creates happiness inside of your body. They always say, happiness is like a birth certificate. You're born with it. It's in your house. You just have to find it. And this is where you find it. It's in your house. It's in your gut. And so by doing this sun salutation, you're saying, hello, sun. You're saying, I love you, sun. You're saying thank you to the sun. You're giving reverence. You're also tapping in to your ancestors that used to wake up early. All their spiritual energy, all their prana, all of that life force energy is yours for the taking when you're breathing through these postures and going through this sequence. It taps into the body's intelligence to create energy directly from the sun. Its Vedic tradition, the sun is symbolic of consciousness and therefore has been worshipped daily in Indian culture. The sun salutation is designed to access the ethereal energy that exists all around us. Every morning at dawn, the air is filled with prana, shakti, or life force energy. When performed facing east towards the sun, so this is why it'll hit your third eye, how you'll wake that up if you're face towards the sunrise during the first rays of the morning sun, breathing correctly and chanting any mantras. I mean, this could be some sacred words of empowerment. This could be Sanskrit. This could be the affirmations you get from working with me. This could be some that you've created for yourself, or some that are from a YouTube video and you're just playing that in the background. This can be really good chanting using that mantra to bring it out of you. You're tapping into changing the energies inside of your body through your breath, through movement. This is like the trifecta. This is creating alchemy, creating change inside of the body. This is the Philosopher's Stone. This is the Philosopher's Stone for sure. So this can have a phenomenal effect on the mind, the body, and the spirit. The morning practice is designed to work on all body parts, every organ, every system, every chakra. It's also believed to be the most effective way to connect with our core inner strength. The core, right? We don't want those bellies. We want that we want that strong, firm core, right? So this is how you tap into that inner core strength. The body is equipped with this innate intelligence to produce energy from the sun directly. The mind through the solar plexus, the body through physical movement, and the spirit through the chanting of the mantras. And to get a boost from the practice of the sun salutation, therefore, it's a complete workout for mind, body, and spirit. Just being in the sun, tapping into that. So I'd love to hear how you're going to use this practice in your own life. Send us some pictures. If you're in our Signal group, send them in. Let us see that. It's so inspiring. It will help you stay accountable, and it will inspire others to start doing this because it's so super important. And as a collective, coming together, doing this work, it does have a ripple effect that we love to watch unfold. You'll impact other people in your life, and this is how we really turn that ripple into a wave. Health and happiness, it's going to spread like the wildflowers. It is going to spread more than wildfire. It's beauty. This is the wildflower spreading. And if you're feeling good, you're going to spread those good vibes like wildflowers too, right? Okay, last 5 minutes. Here we go. It's the really important one. I know they're all important. We love it all. Hello, sun. Worship the sun. This one is about vitamin D. So you guys heard a little bit me talking about the mushrooms, things like that, but let's get more into it here, because when I dove into the subject of hormone health, I learned that unlike other vitamins, vitamin D functions like a hormone more than a vitamin. You know, all vitamins affect your hormones, but this one actually functions as one. And in fact, it is one. You know, so every single cell in your body has a receptor for it. Vitamin D is required for the proper function of many important organs. Vitamin D helps our heart, our lungs, our brain, our immune system, and together with calcium, vitamin D optimizes our bone health. I figured living in Canada through the winter, I may be deficient, but did you know that over 1 billion people worldwide across all ethnicities and age groups show to be deficient in vitamin D on their blood labs? In Canada, where most healthcare is free, the patient is required to pay for the vitamin D test. It's not covered because they say everyone is deficient, or that's at least what I was told by my own physician last time that I went many, many moons ago, talking about lab work and hormone health. Yeah, she's an amazing doctor. She's ended up going on mat leave, or I would have kept working with her, but she was an Indian woman. She got away from like the 4-hour appointments, or I mean the 4-minute appointments, and you write a prescription. I think it's like 10 minutes, I think she said that she would get with a patient. So not 4 minutes, but still. 10 minutes with a patient, write a prescription. She got away from that and actually started taking an hour with clients and still working through the government. So she was able to work with people who couldn't afford it. And she would take the time to get these testings for hormone health and things like that out to people because they were free here in Canada. So why not do the testing so we can get to the bottom, the root causes of anything. And I was doing a hormone health course at the time, so I really connected with the right doctor at the right time to discover these things. It was a beautiful synchronicity. And she, went on mat leave shortly after I saw her once and the baby, and they're just such a beautiful family. So really cool. I'm happy I got to share that with you. But yeah, in Canada, she told me that they won't even do the testing here. So it's of cost, and there's no point in actually doing it because we're just not getting enough sunlight. So during the fall and winter in Ontario, it's hard to get enough vitamin D, but even people living in sunny climates might be at risk, possibly because people are staying indoors more, they're covering up when they are outside, they're wearing sunglasses, and they're using sunscreens to reduce their skin cancer risk. This being said, these are what they're saying are the risks. I really want to add that there are natural sunscreens that won't cause you skin cancer or cause any skin cancer from the sun. What you're being sold in stores is not. I'm writing this reminder in right now. I am reminder. What you buy in stores is hazardous to your health. It's the key to create your own. And I'm going to say bug sprays too, because those are pretty hazardous too. Sunglasses, I don't think there's really a need for. I'm a very light sensitive person in general because I practice seeing in the dark the way I do, because I align my circadian rhythm the way that I do. I think possibly because I was, around so many LED lights and things like that, working in nightclubs and bars and up in those crazy times. So my sensitivity to light is pretty crazy. Also a bit of a stigmatism. So when I see light, it actually shines and takes over more of my eyesight, causing me blurred vision in specific times and areas. And so being a really light sensitive person, I know I can see the desire for sunglasses, and I do believe that there's a time and a place where they could possibly be helpful. That being said, I still don't really wear them unless it is of a desire need. Like maybe I'm gonna like fall asleep because I'm squinting so much, or maybe it really is a hazard or something. So I will use the sunglasses. I have pairs of them, but they're definitely not an essential. So make sure you're taking that time without them too. When it comes to the sunscreens, when it comes to bug sprays, DIY it, or just contact me for some recipes. Or if you can't make it, contact me and we'll work it out. I can mail some out to you or something. Maybe that's another thing I'll do with the website, is like actually start selling things like to order. Yeah, I don't know. I've always done that for clients and things that ask me for stuff, but I never did the Etsy shop. I think I have one in my name, but there's probably nothing even listed on it. So we'll work that out. But it's so easy to make this stuff yourself. There's a video of me making I don't know, there might be a sunscreen one. They're definitely on Instagram where I've made them. I call it like sun-kissed lotion, or like I give them weird names. But it's definitely, I think my recipes might already be out there for you. For sure, bug spray. I always remember that one because Finn was making that with me at 2 years old, and we got like those little short videos on YouTube that I still see pop up because you guys have loved them so much. So it always shows up for me too, that there's more likes and whatever on some of those shorts, and it was so cute doing it with him. But here's the thing, like, he was 2 years old. Like, it's so easy to make these things. If a kid in diapers can make it, you can make it. If you really don't have the time, it's really not of interest to you, contact me, I'll make you some. Maybe Finn will make you some. So symptoms of vitamin D deficiency include depression, chronic pain, excessive fatigue, increased risk of illness and infections, poor wound healing, low bone mineral dense, bone pain and lower back pain, hair loss, and alopecia. All right. So fortunately, vitamin D deficiency is usually easy to fix. Sun exposure is a preferred way to get vitamin D and varies with age, skin type, and season, time of day, etc. Approximately a 10-minute sun exposure between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., 2 to 3 times a week, is in the face, the arms, the legs, or the back, so really anywhere that there's skin, without sunscreen, will usually provide sufficient vitamin D. In retrospect, 6 days of casual sunlight exposure, no sunscreen, can make up for 49 days of no sunlight exposure. This is because vitamin D is stored in the fat cells and then released when sunlight is gone. Vitamin D can also be found in some foods like fatty fish, mushrooms, and fortified food products. Stay away from fortified food products. Don't rely on that for your vitamin D. I'm just saying it's in there. Okay, it's in there. You'll see it on the ingredient label, but it is mass produced. It's probably not good for you. Go find yourself a spray version of it. Get yourself some mushrooms. Another way that you can do this is through fermented foods, or no, sun drying. I'm thinking fermented foods gives you the vitamin B12, which is another vitamin you guys may want to look into. So we did talk about kombucha and fermented foods. Cheers. So this will also have that vitamin B12. Which again, whether you eat meat or not, you're going to need that vitamin B12 because there's not a lot of it left. Because guess what? Vitamin B12 comes from the microbes in the soil. The reason why you get it from fermented foods is because you're creating microbes in a drink or in a food. Another thing I want to add here just before we get off is, I did talk about, I guess, like the recommended intake RDI is usually around 400 to 1000 UI. So that's what you want to look for if you're buying the supplement form. It's 400 to 1000. I'd even go 1000. Like I don't think it's that easy to overdose on this stuff. I think probably the more the better. If you're in Canada right now, go for a spray so it can, or a liquid so it can get into your blood system. Obviously, don't overdo it. There can be complications, but a spray of 1000, a few days a week during the day. Don't say, oh, I forgot, and then do it at night, because that will mess with your sleep and your circadian rhythm. Vitamin D is from the sun, which means you should be taking it when it's sunny out. All right? I love you guys. Sorry about my attitude there. So I really hope these tips help you regulate yourself for the better, give you a higher quality of sleep, give you the focus that you need to succeed in life, provide you better understanding of circadian rhythm, and help you tap into the primordial energy of your ancestors. I am a strong believer in synchronicity, meaning I believe we are here connected at this time for a reason. So if you want to connect with me, you're looking for coaching, or you want more of these resources, contact me, Ashley at elementalgrowth.org. I will connect you with our family. We've got an awesome integration collective. We have got tons of things coming up and going on consistently. So if you just want a point in the right direction, you want to gain some clarity, let's hop on the phone, text or call or email, and we'll make that happen. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye for now.